Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I really wanted to sit down and share something with you guys that I think that a lot of us really need to hear this because of the experiences that we go through when it comes to love here on earth. This is something that again, I do believe that everybody should hear about. So if you have received this message, then it is for you. It's about your experiences with love, whether it is between you and your parental figures, or you and your siblings, or like really good old friends, or just really good friends, right? Or romantic love. It doesn't really matter what kind of connection that is, and even whether it is actually a karmic connection or a soul connection. And here I should add that even karmic connections are soul contracts, but I'm just not going to get into that. So would no matter what kind of past or present that you have experienced or are experiencing it currently, your experiences with love have been very difficult and very painful, whether it was in your childhood or in any later years or as an adult. No matter how long ago it happened, you have gone through situations, at least one, that made you question who you were and what you believed the world to be. Allow me to explain. What I mean by that is when we go through a painful experience, right, we do get hurt, and a lot of times we kind of close off afterwards, right? Because obviously the ego does not want to be hurt again. So we build walls and we try to protect ourselves from that. What happens when that experience happens to you, or what has happened when you went through that, or if you're currently going through that, is it has made you question love in on itself and kind of what you believed the world to be, or how it is in the world when it comes to love. No matter if it were your parents or parental figures that have disappointed you, hurt you, abandoned you, abused you, or any kind of family member, right? Or if it was through friendships or romantic love, that pain has really made you believe that love hurts, that vulnerability and even you loving someone equals to you receiving pain, whether it's through abandonment or betrayals or, I don't know, cheating or lying, right? And I wanted to come on here to say something that is extremely important for all of us to remember. As difficult as it can be to accept, especially if you're in the midst of it all and you're very much hurt and you feel wronged, you feel unseen, right? You feel that your own feelings are not validated if you are hurting, that all of these experiences, all of these people that hurt you, or that person, if it's just been one, it doesn't matter, right? All of this, the divine creator has made sure that you go through because they needed you to grow from it, to search within you what the actual truth is. If you have listened to my previous videos, to me there's not like an actual truth and a false truth. A lot of times I will just call it divine truth, because everything that is truth is divine, everything else is an illusion, even if it seems very much real and tangible in our 3D circumstances. So these experiences very much had to make you who you are today, if it has happened in the past, if they have happened in the past, or if you're currently experiencing it, it is happening because God needs you on the other side of it. So you're in the midst of healing. You will heal from it. You are healing from it. You actually have already healed from it, because there's already a timeline where you have healed it. You just have to align to it, right? But it's that pain that you have experienced through love, right? Or because of love, no matter how you look at it, it was always meant to force you to take a very close look at yourself and your beliefs when it comes to love. Because what has happened was that when you were betrayed, when you were hurt in any way, no matter by whom, it has made you change your outlook on love itself. Because before that, when you came to earth, you believed, and it's not just about belief, because you knew that love conquers all. Love will always win. That love is always good. That love is always divine. That if love is present, that love is going to fix everything. That all you need is love, and everything else will somehow fall into place. This is who you are. This is what you have believed, even if you didn't necessarily think of it this way. This is your core belief. This is your core knowledge of things, because this is actual truth. So this is the divine truth of things. But the experiences, or the experience, has made you question all of that. And whether you have seen it around you, or there were people around you telling you that, oh, you should have never trusted these people, this is kind of what love is, if it had to do with any kind of family member or a blood tie, you may have heard or seen others kind of say that, oh, your parents, they kind of do what they can do, but they're also humans, so you cannot expect too much, right? Or, well, maybe you have like a step parental figure, whether it's the mother or father or even both, and maybe there is a belief within you that, oh, because they're not my blood parents, they maybe don't love me, or just you see relationships around you, families around you, and see that there is very little or no love between these people, despite them being a family, right? Or being a couple. This is something that I have myself seen a lot, that officially people have been married, people have been in a long-term relationship, people have children, right? And you think that because people choose to stay in those marriages, in these relationships, that, oh, they do it out of love, because this is kind of what like a relationship entails, that this is kind of what a relationship on earth look like. And I did saw 11:11, just want to put it out there if anybody needed that. So yeah, I myself have seen a lot of very pathological relationships, connections, family dynamic. Like, it didn't matter that there was like a blood tie, as in like, oh, I have seen people having children and absolutely despising them, and there is no love in these people for these children, even though they are their own flesh and blood. Same things with long-term relationships, or not even if it's like a, let's say, relatively fresh connection, right? A pair of people have met and started dating, and there is still no love, and somehow people kind of live their lives assuming that this is what it means. So this is what it means to have a relationship, that all relationships look like that, all family dynamics look like that, all let's say marriages, that they're loveless, that you cannot trust your friends because there's no love between people like that, and nobody really cares about you, like everybody's gonna fuck you over, or use you or betray you, no matter whether there is a blood tie or not. And you may even be in a situation where you yourself perhaps have not been betrayed so badly, right? But you have spent your years here on earth surrounded by these kind of connections, and whatever that is, right? You have seen people that were in romantic connections, married, not married, been together for many years or a few years, and you see them betray their own partner behind their back, because they're at work, and at work they flirt a lot, or they do not have any boundaries, they do not respect their boundaries, they do not respect their relation or partner, right? Or like, how many times have I seen parents speak so ill of their kids because their kids do not or let me just put it in short, that because their own children have mind on their own and wish to do things their own way, right? So maybe some expectations aren't met, whether it has to do with like education, or the way of living, or when it comes to even like as silly things as political opinion. Like, it's ridiculous. But because this is heavy, it's heavy because to me this is such a toxic thing, really. It's such a heavy energy and such a deep wound within all of us. But when you kind of think of it, it's such a silly thing to even allow ourselves to believe in these things, right? But this is why I wanted to come on here and record this message, to kind of tell you guys that no matter what the circumstances, no matter what situation, no matter what kind of people were involved, do not allow your past to change or to continue to influence what you have believed in the past before all of that hurt happened. So do not allow any kind of past karmic relationships or connections, because it could be friends, it could be family, right? Co-workers, I don't know, neighbors, you name it. Do not allow that, or like these hurtful situations that you have gone through, to change your belief that love is the most important, that love is the building block, because it really is the building block of everything in the universe. Everything that, let's say, you have believed as a child, right? Or as a young adult, let's say a teenager. Like, I know that a lot of times either children like that or teenagers that kind of believe that way, that love conquers all, and that there is good in the world. A lot of times the people around them will tell these children that they're dreamers, that, oh, you need to kind of get back down to earth and kind of look at the reality. Can you not see how much pain there is around? Can you not see all the people betraying each other? So what is important to remember is that, first of all, you as a soul, as a being, have chosen to come to earth and experience these things in order to advance, to evolve as a soul, and to help the collective consciousness. So let's say help humanity to heal, because you're raising vibration. And because of that, like I mentioned before, God has made sure that you would go through these situations, because without it, being surrounded by all of these low vibrational beliefs in the people around you, you would not have questioned these things otherwise. If you haven't been hurt the way you have been hurt, you would never let's say feel the need to look within, to kind of take a look at all of these belief systems that a lot of people have lived by on earth, a lot of these lies, a lot of these illusions. And remember that once you have healed that hurt, once you have found that truth within yourself, the divine truth of this, like the world, the 3D reality that you have around you is not really what it seems. That, yes, it's a projection of your inner state, right? Your inner mental state, of your beliefs. But when you, like, even if you're in the midst of healing these things and changing your outside reality, like the outside of you reality, right? Not the inner you. You're still aware that everything that is happening to you is happening for you in order for you to learn. There is no evil in this world. There is no negativity. Yes, for the conversation's sake, there is, because there is a different side. Like there's two sides to a coin. One of them is the light, one of them is the dark, right? You need to have a certain level of polarity in order for you to notice and appreciate the difference, right? And you cannot have the light without the dark. You cannot have, let's say, as we people kind of tend to call it, like you cannot have the good without the bad, right? You cannot notice or appreciate the goodness of somebody's heart if you have not experienced or seen somebody acting extremely cold-heartedly, or like being pretty much evil towards other people or towards you, right? So in that way, yes, there is like the evil, but when you kind of look from even a higher perspective, everything is a creation of God, of the divine creator, and everything is good. Everything that, let me say in quotation marks, like all of these evil people doing evil things to you, on a soul level, they're actually doing this to you out of love and camaraderie for you. And yes, it takes a lot of work to kind of raise yourself to that level when you kind of can look at these people, or look back at your past into these, or at these situations that where you have been extremely hurt and betrayed and used by other people, and kind of think like, or even be able to see like, oh yeah, no, I know that this has been done to me out of love, so that my soul can advance or evolve, or I can raise my own vibration, right? But it's there. And this is kind of the whole point, that we have to come back to ourselves and to remember that love is the root of everything. Love is the building block of everything in this universe. And love is enough to fix any kind of situation. Love does always win. Love does always fix everything. Love will support you. Love will also raise you. It will help you heal. It will help you to step up, kind of, to stand in your power, to support yourself, to love yourself better, right? Love is very transformative. It's very freeing. It's very healing. And love is the most important thing in the entire universe. So please remember, as painful as all of these situations were, everything was done to you out of love for you. And I pray to God that God, the divine source, and all of your spirit guides, your ancestors, angels, whatever and whoever you work with on a daily basis, that you will be helped to reach that level within yourself where you kind of can look at these situations and at these people with peace in your heart, and acknowledge, yes, these things were extremely hurtful. These things were, things that should never be done to anybody. But I'm grateful that I could have experienced these things because, let's say, I had to, because this is what my soul signed up for. But I am so happy and so grateful that I had the opportunity and the help to rise above that, to heal all of that, to attain inner peace, and to not hold any grudges. Like, it's not about you necessarily having to love these people. You should find the love for these people, just like love for another human being, right? It doesn't have to be connected specifically to that specific human, but think of them just as beings, light beings, souls. It gets a little bit easier to kind of forgive them, to let these things go, especially for us that are on a spiritual journey that involves romantic love with our divine counterpart. A lot of times there is a lot of illusions on this journey, as in a lot of things are made to seem in a certain way so that you will perceive them, that they're very hurtful. I mean, they are, but a lot of times it's kind of made to look much worse than what it is, but it's only to trigger you, to kind of force you to heal and look at the things that come up within you when you get hurt by your divine counterpart. And then you will also afterwards come to a point where you kind of have to look back at everything that your divine counterpart has put you through, right? And you cannot ever, and you shouldn't ever pretend that you have never been hurt by them, that they have never wronged you, because it's not about bypassing any of these things. It's not about smoothing things over and pretending that they didn't happen. You must acknowledge it. You must acknowledge, I don't know, I would call it objectively, that yes, my divine counterpart has done these horrible things to me, right? But acknowledging them and like speaking of them in that matter, like the matter of factly, right, that they have happened, does not mean that you have any kind of judgment towards your divine counterpart, because you are meant to rise above this, and you are forgiving your divine counterpart for all of it, because you are being made aware of their side of the story and their fears and their wounds, and you understand that a lot of it, even if it was directed at you, had very little to do with you specifically, because you, as their divine counterpart, you do not have any negative karma with them, because you are one being. You can never go against your own soul, even though it may look this way, especially in the 3D, right? Well, in the 3D, on the higher levels, you don't see that. You don't see these things in this way. But you are, no matter where you are on your journey, you are made aware by the divine kind of the motivations behind a lot of these situation and choices that your divine counterpart, let's say, chooses or does. And once you have healed that part of you that has been triggered by them, you also, when you look back, you kind of realize that yes, they did this, or that has happened and it hurt me a lot. And as much as it hurt, I have healed that part of me, and I realized that without them kind of reminding me that I carry that wound within me, I could not have healed. If we were not shown by our divine counterparts where we have to heal, we would continue living our lives here on earth in fear, right? We would be carrying a lot of that wounding. We would be repeating these really toxic cycles. We would be denying ourselves. We would not be honoring ourselves. So this message is not specifically for you guys that are on the twin soul journey, because it's not really about that. It's really for anybody. Please remember what you already know in your heart. Love is the most important. Love will always win. It's always going to conquer whatever kind of blocks that may be there or that you perceive there to be, right? Love is going to make everything work out. Do not allow any of your past or current situation to change that outlook on life and love for you. Do not allow the past or these really difficult situations, because yes, they were very hurtful and they were very difficult, and a lot of them is actually unforgivable in a way that they are forgivable because you should forgive and you should let them go, but they're unforgivable because the pain was so deep, because the situation or the actions or the decisions were actually so horrible for the person that was receiving, and a lot of times for the person that were doing these hurtful things. That is what I mean when I say that these things were unforgivable. Not that you can never forgive them or you can never heal that. It's just that they should never ever be repeated. And a lot of times they cut so deep, even the people that are doing the hurting, that it should never ever be repeating. So remember, love is everything. It's building block of you, your 3D reality, no matter how different it may seem to you. Please remember who you are. You are love incarnate on this earth. Stand in it, be it, live it, and as difficult as it may be, make sure and try to choose it in each moment, no matter what's happening to you currently, because everything is happening to you and you will see it eventually too. All right, thank you so much for listening, for being here, and I really hope that what I have shared helps you to feel better, to find the love within you. Take care. Bye.